and welcome to First Nights. I'm Rob. I will be your storyteller, game master, whatever you want to call me, for this game. We're here to play some Star Wars. We're all super excited about this. If you are a fan of the Games Tavern, you've probably seen us play Star Wars before. I love this system, and we're going to have so much fun. So thank you all for joining our show today. Let's kick it off. Ria, would you please introduce both yourself and your character?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Ria Gaudioso, and I play Nil, a Ferreroan Jedi Padawan, obviously. I don't know if we want me to introduce myself more, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Drew, would you please introduce both yourself and your character?
I'm Drew Carrington, lead artist of One Inch Heroes, and I'm going to be playing Dar Javada, also a Jedi Padawan.
Okay. Ruby, how about you?
Hi, I'm Ruby. I am a streamer and storyteller, and my character for this adventure is Malin, a human Jedi Padawan slash Pathfinder individual.
And Paul.
How's it going? My name is Paul Cruz. This isn't where I parked my car, and my character is called Boriken Lenoto, and I'm a Jedi Padawan from the planet Umbra.
And now, a long time ago, in a faraway place, our adventure begins. So, for a little bit of background, all of these Jedi Padawan know each other from previous escapades, and we're going to call them escapades because they very much were. However, this is the first time all four of them have been together, and they find themselves on the command in the command meeting room aboard the Republic cruiser that belongs to the Jedi Watchmen they work for. Now, because this is 10,000 years before the Star Wars that we're all familiar with, things are a little bit different. The Jedi Knights are a little bit more lackadaisical, a little bit looser, a little bit more militant than the Jedi Knights that we're used to. But some of the things that you know and that are familiar to you are still the same. Like, for instance, that there are Jedi Masters who do indeed train Jedi Padawan to become Jedi Knights. That is one of the things that is still true. And you guys are meeting with your Jedi Master for the first time in quite some time. In fact, for some of you, this may be the first time that you've met that Jedi Master. He is an older Duros man. He goes by the name Master Demir. Now, those of you that are at all familiar with Duros culture know that Demir would be a family name, except that you know that most Jedi don't associate with their family. So you're not sure if this is a nom de guerre or something else. Now, he is indeed an older Duros man, and he has called all of you in, as well as one of the actual Jedi Knights that are below him, a human Jedi Knight that some of you know and some of you don't know, whose name is Nir Sol, Nir Sol Bay. He is a shorter man with dark skin, dark hair, and dark eyes. He is known for being the guy that gets sent in when things have gone very wrong. So, Master Demir has you all sit down and says, Jedi Bay, Padawan, I've called you all here because there's a situation that I require you to handle for us. In this situation, there is a large uprising going on in one of the colonies. Apparently, the colonists were duped into signing contracts that are, shall we say, the next best thing to enslavement. As such, they have chosen to violently overthrow the corporation that sponsored their colony. Now, we are going to let the Republic courts figure out who is in the right and who is in the wrong. But for now, we need to stop the violence. In this, Jedi Bay will be going to the colonists, and Jedi Bay will be going to address the corporation, and you will be addressing the colonists.
Should we be concerned that we're on the same mission? No offense, as Jedi Bay, he kind of handles really bad stuff.
Yes, that's why I'm sending him to the corporation and you to the colonists.
Okay.
What is it precisely you would like us to talk to the colonists about?
You need to convince them to stop fighting the corporate mercenary forces. Our goal
Right.
is to end the violence.
Not with more violence, right? Just talking.
Officially, correct. Unofficially, however it needs to be done.
None of
Okay.
us are going to address that we haven't spoken to this guy in a long time, huh?
I mean, I guess
What?
you just did.
Yeah, why now? Why now do you return and ask us this favor?
Because I recently returned from the council, and the council has become aware of this conflict. If the council is aware of this conflict, the Senate is aware of this conflict, and if the Senate is aware of this conflict, politicians will be arriving, and you don't want to have more politicians here because they're going to make a mess.
As they always do.
As you say, Padawan Borkin.
Okay. So go talk to people and stop the fight.
Yes. You'll be going with Jedi Bay. You can take the assault shuttle, as I've been told you have been doing and using so far, the same one that Borkin has been modifying.
I do what I can.
Excellent. All right. Feel free to check in with me if you have complications that you can't deal with. However, your immediate aid is going to be Jedi Bay, because he'll also be on board with you.
Okay.
Thank you. And he stands up and sees you out. You find yourself in the corridor with Jedi Bay, who hasn't said anything to this point, and to your knowledge, is not necessarily known for being laconic. And he just looks at you and goes, all right, well, this is the first time you've been off the leash. When he says that unofficially solve it however you can, he means it needs to be done fast. And that means dirty.
When you say off the leash, who exactly was holding the leash before?
Well, I mean, off the order leash.
Fair enough.
What exactly is your opinion of the situation, Master?
Just Jedi. And my opinion is that if the master is concerned because the council is concerned, because the Senate is concerned, that it's a very serious situation.
But Master, should we not try to explore all avenues of diplomacy first?
That's what the order teaches, and in most cases, that is correct. In this case, it needs to be resolved before the Republic gets involved.
When you
Unofficially.
say solved, is there a particular solution that you favor more than the other?
For
Because I can think of
perspective,
one.
I will be going to the corporate mercenaries and letting them know that their services are no longer required. And if they resist that opportunity to depart, I will enforce their departure.
So we are recommended to do something of the same.
I'm not making a recommendation. I'm just letting you know that this is the first time you are being given the permission to solve something as quickly as possible.
How soon should we be off?
What was that?
Then how soon should we be off?
We have time. Do you need to do something before we depart?
Not at all.
Okay. Then we should continue down to the hangar bay and depart, unless anybody needs to stop. Do you need anything before we go?
See afterwards, won't we?
All right. So Jedi Bay leads you guys down to the hangar bay. In the hangar bay is the assault shuttle that Borikin has become pretty familiar with and has started to make a few minor adjustments to, as well as 3 other assault shuttles and some other miscellaneous tendercraft. This is obviously not the first time you've been on the cruiser, but it's the first time in a while you've seen this many vessels on the cruiser. Normally, a lot more of the Jedi assigned to the Jedi Watchmen are off ship.
Kind of busy around here.
I was about to say it seems more populated than normal.
Yes, well, when the Master comes back from the Council, things change.
Like what?
Our missions, the scope of our activities. I haven't seen the Master return from the Council and nothing changed previously. It's probably the best way to put this.
All right.
Anyway, Padawan Borikin, if you want to get our shuttle ready to go.
Yes, indeed. But anybody like to come and assist? Might need some help. Got some new
Yeah,
stuff
for
working
sure.
on.
I like what you've done with the place.
Thank you.
So, Borikin, this used to be a standard assault shuttle. And you've done a little bit of work on this in your non-copious spare time. So now it actually has padded seats. That's a huge upgrade.
Whoa!
Got some
And,
chiropractic issues.
Yeah. And it actually does have both the regular startup sequence and the accelerated startup sequence.
Nice.
So whichever one you choose, you can go ahead and get the shuttle ready to go. This is routine stuff for you. You are practiced at this. There is no rolling required when you're doing something this routine.
Gotcha.
So, assuming that everybody's ready to go, I'm going to say that you guys are waiting. And once you're finished waiting, Borikin takes the shuttle off of the deck, and you are on your way down to the planet. Now, this planet is one of the older colonies in this area, which means that it's over a decade old. Because remember, this is relatively new territory for the Republic. So, over a decade old, pretty established, and they're worried that the colony will have issues if the colonists really do choose to abandon it. The planet is fairly close to Herglick space, and it is sort of valuable. 2 huge asteroid belts, a couple of gas giants. It could very well become a major way station, and the world itself is enormous, far larger than a normal habitable planet. It is called Talon.
What exactly do we think our plan should be here? Among just us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Master Bay on the ship with us, or is he on a different one?
He is, but he's meditating.
Something seems off.
Does.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the side of people fighting back about a bad contract.
As am I. I also am
Same.
concerned about the fact that, yes, of course, the Republic getting involved, the politicians getting involved is never our first preference. But this seems especially underhanded.
Seems that the first instinct to go with aggressive negotiations was casually suggested. Seems
Quite
seems out of character.
adamantly so.
I think we should keep the master from knowing that we suspect something, so we could try to control each other's emotions, especially when he's around.
Okay.
Sorry, real quick. Our Master Bay is with us, but the Master is not, correct?
So, Nearsil Bay is a Jedi Knight, not a Master.
Oh, he's not our Master?
He's not a Jedi Master at all.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. But so our Master was the one telling us that it needs to be
Handled.
Yes.
Okay.
So, for total clarification, you are aware of the reputation of Nearsil Bay. He is the guy who is sent in when things are bad. And the fact that you are on the same assignment as him, and we're just told that the clubs are off, you are rightly concerned.
Was our Jedi Master sends us on all of our missions, essentially? So he also sent us on the racketeering one?
Sort of.
Okay.
So he is ultimately responsible for you, but he's busy.
He's been pretty hands-off lately, right? Is that what I'm guessing? That he's kind of
he hasn't been around lately, and obviously he was gone. He had to go back to the Jedi Council. So a lot of the time you do actually take orders from other Jedi Knights, like Nearsil Bay, and that's how it operates. You are expected to be capable of handling the assignments that are given to you.
So we have Jedi daddy issues.
Don't most Jedi actually?
The whole attachment thing.
Even if your master is a woman, I think you still have daddy issues.
Yeah.
So, to be entirely clear, the person who actually trained you in your Force abilities was almost certainly Master Demir. If you have something that is outside of the normal training standards, it might have been one of the Jedi Knights, but in all likelihood, it was Master Demir.
Okay. We know Nearsol's reputation. Is that kind of reputation completely unbiased, I'm just gonna go in and do whatever I'm told? Or has he skewed one way or the other?
You would know that his means are more varied than just going in lightsaber blazing. But he is quick and often brutal in seeking resolution.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just sit very nervously in the co-pilot seat, trying to keep a straight face.
I think perhaps while we are trying to negotiate, we should also be trying to figure out what it is that is driving this so hard for this resolution. Because is it really a resolution if everybody's dead?
Borikin, you're bringing the shuttle through the atmosphere now. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is not a very tricky approach as far as you can tell. And you are in communication with the primary landing zone, which is inside one of the settlements.
Too quiet. I don't like it. I got a bad feeling about this.
I'm surprised the what was their name? The contractors. I'm surprised that they do not have a blockade.
Yeah. I mean, I would think it would be a pretty bad situation if, we're getting sent in with these kinds of orders. I'd expect more smoke.
Resistance?
Can I try
So-
and see what is going on the surface? Like, is there a big fight or?
I mean, you're a little bit far away to see what's going on
Sure.
at that scale. You can see that there are several ships that you would probably mentally categorize as warships in orbit, but they are not interdicting your vessels.
Okay.
Which you would understand is because most mercenary groups are not interested in getting into a conflict with sector rangers or Jedi.
Fair. I should keep an eye out as we fly down.
Yeah, I think
Borkin, go ahead and give me a easy piloting roll, because as you approach the primary landing platform, communication with them drops, and you are left without the automated landing signal that you would have normally expected to have. So you
Alright.
roll your piloting planetary, your piloting space against one purple with one setback, so one black.
I don't know if it'd be. No, you know what? I'll save that for later. So that would be yellow and what? Or green?
Yeah.
Just one yellow, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yellow, purple, black. See what we got.
All right. So this is pretty stressful stuff, and you're gonna take one strain because this is outside of ordinary experience for you. Now, I mean, you've landed dirt field, bad conditions, but you're coming into a settlement, and there is other traffic around you. So this is pretty stressful. But you set the shuttle down in an empty landing area within the town, and you can see as you set it down that there are people rushing towards you. Now, the one thing that we need to do at this point is actually, I need all of you to go ahead and roll your force dice for our destiny pool. So go ahead and hit the special rolls button and hit roll destiny for me, please.
Whoa. Oh.
All right.
We roll equal to our force.
No, you just roll one force die.
Okay.
So hit that roll destiny button. Yeah.
Damn.
Nice.
All right. So for people that are unfamiliar with this system, the destiny pool is a means for both the players and myself to impact the outcome of the narrative. Currently, the players have 6 tokens to my 1 token, with which to affect the outcome of die rolls and thus the narrative of our game. So they're in a pretty good position right now. Now, Borkin, as you manage to bring down the grab drives and the primary drive, and are you going to open the bay doors on your shuttle, or are you going to keep them closed?
Let's go ahead and open them.
All right.
Let's open the bay doors.
So those of you that are in the rear see that the shuttle doors are opening, and there is a group of armed people approaching. In the lead is a taller Umbaran man who seems extremely agitated to see you. And he runs right up to the ramp into the shuttle and says, "Who are you and what are you doing here?"
I think Nil would walk out and kind of put up her hands as like a, not even as like a surrender, but as like a chill out. And I would like to kind of send out with my influence sort of just a calming atmosphere.
All right. Go ahead and roll your force die, and if you get a light side pip, you can 100% be calming.
So I don't actually remember how to roll a force die.
It is that white die. So go ahead
Mhm.
Okay,
and push it up to 1, and then hit roll.
great.
Yeah.
So Nil, you are subtly using the force to influence this group of people. You're sending out very calming vibes, and they do visibly calm down.
And then I'm gonna let the others actually do the actual talking because I have no people skills.
I would
All
like
right.
to address the Umbran who decided to jump onto our ship. Shall I turn off the lights so you could feel more comfortable?
At that, he's going to look at you, take another look at you, and go, "Oh, I didn't expect another Umberan. No, for the sake of the other colonists, please leave the lights on."
Welcome
Now,
aboard.
who exactly are you, and why are you here?
I look at Dar, the good talker.
We we have come due to the grievance of your current situation with the corporation. You feel that your contract is unfair. We are here to negotiate a ceasefire.
Our contract is unfair. That is not up for debate.
Be that as it may, there are other ways to resolve this dispute rather than violence.
Do you think the Republic courts care about our colony?
I would like to think they do. And if not, then at least we can help perhaps facilitate an understanding. A
Well,
renegotiation, perhaps.
when you have facilitated that understanding, we would be amenable to considering laying down our arms. But right now, there's no reason to. And if we did, the mercenaries would quickly overrun our position.
I perhaps take a look at this contract.
Hmm.
He's going to give you a look um, because you almost certainly already have access to this contract.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, well, sir, it just so happens that mercenaries are our speciality. And furthermore, if they can afford mercenaries to put you down, then clearly the terms are unacceptable as they can afford to pay you what you're worth. We will also try to amend a ceasefire between the mercenaries, if at all possible. If we were to do this, would you consider laying down your arms?
so behind him, in the small crowd of armed people, you hear things like, "He makes a lot of sense. Wow, I think he might have a point. Maybe we should hear him out." But the Umbra man says, "I understand your position, but you have to understand ours. If we stop fighting for any reason, they're just going to take us prisoner, and then because they own our contracts, they don't have to go to Republic justice. They can just punish us."
Well, we do have a person that's also going to go and talk to them and be like, "Hey, can we stop fighting?" But we kind of need to like, I guess we need to agree at like the same time so that nobody overtakes each other. I guess.
Uh, as you obliquely mention him, Jedi Bay finally stands up for meditation and walks out on the ramp and says, yes, I should be on my way. Is there a speeder bike available here?" And some of the people look at him with confusion, like, No? And he's like, "Well, okay, I'll find my own way." And he just walks off.
Nil would like to give just like the vaguest concerned look over to Boriken. Just
All right.
I
So
didn't do any
the older
modifications
man
to any
readdresses
speeders.
you. He says, "You still haven't actually told us who you are, although it's kind of clear at this point that you're Jedi. Then I guess
Yeah,
we should
sorry,
go
we're
in,
Jedi.
uh, get in off of the landing pad." He's going to turn around and look at the crowd and go, "All right, the rest of you disperse back to your posts, and somebody find Mela."
Nil would follow.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and he'll lead you into the colony. You've been to many colonies at this point, and you understand that most of these are just prefab concrete or plascrete or durcrete structures, depending on how wealthy the company setting it up is. Um, and these look okay. You've seen better. Clearly, the locals take pride in them because they are painted and they've been cleaned. The exteriors have been cleaned recently, but like you know, you've all been to the core, so you know what real architecture looks like and what real structures look like, and this is not it.
Hmm.
And he takes you into one of the low slung buildings, but this one's fairly long. And in your experience, this is either their primary market or their town hall or a space like that where everybody can get together and discuss things. And he'll guide you into a room where there's a table with 12 chairs around it, and settle you in and say, "Now, I would offer you refreshments, but all we really have at this point is water. Um, I
Hmm.
apologize."
It would be rude to refuse your hospitality. And water will be fine.
Thank you. And at that, he says something into his comlink that is in a language that most of you wouldn't understand. Uh, Borican, you recognize that he is speaking Old Umbaran, and that indicates that there are other Umbarans here. And your people have a history with slavery and bad contracts, bad contracts. Um, so you've got a little bit of insight here as to why there's a violent resistance instead of a legal campaign or something else going on here. If there are multiple Umbarans present, and sure enough, a few minutes later, a younger Umbaran woman comes in carrying a couple of pitchers of water and a tray of glasses and puts them down, puts the glasses in front of you, and walks out. Um, Not long after that, another Umbaran woman, older, walks in, sees you sitting there, and goes, "Well, I appear to be late. I apologize. I am Mela, and I am the administrator of this colony."
Hey, I'm Maylin.
Oh, that's fun.
What species is Mela?
Mela is Umbaran.
As well. Okay. Real quick, can I get a very fast debrief on what is the company that is sending these mercenaries, and what are the exact terms of the contract?
All right. So you have read this contract. I'm going to assume you've read this contract at this point.
Yes.
So this is a company that has set up what they call a general colonization contract. They have sublicenses for mining, agriculture, and shipping. So that is basically the primary three trades that you see out in the colonies, which means that they have a total colonial contract. They're, in your experience, probably trying to take control of the planet and all of the planet's enterprise. And your non-legal expertise take on the contract is that the contracts themselves are pretty horrible, pretty usurious. These colonists are not getting a great deal. They get transit and they're provided with the facilities and the equipment to do their jobs, But in exchange, this company is taking close to 70% of their actual revenue.
Okay, so did they put the colonists on this planet as
Yeah.
a company? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when these colonists moved to this planet, that was the contract they had signed.
Oh, should qualify that, as far as you can tell, the contract has not been altered since it was originally issued.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pray they don't alter it any further.
But again, you're not a legal expert. You're just somebody who
No,
deals
of
with
course.
paperwork.
I just wanted to grasp the full scope of what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So,
know I've
yeah,
said
no,
this
from-
before, that things seem off, but considering the nature of my people, I suspect that there are many spies about that we are not paying attention to. There might be a lot more going on than we realize. We need to be far more careful than initially assessed.
Spies?
My people are very good at stealth, and we are exceptionally gifted in the dark. And hearing one of them speak the old tongue, call it a hunch. Doesn't feel right.
Okay.
So, Mela and the unnamed Umbaran who are in the room with you give you a look. And the man says, I find it strange that you would reveal our secrets to outsiders.
We're all
My-
friends.
My friend, I may have once been an Umbran, but I am a Jedi.
The Order's reputation does say that is the case. I'm just surprised to see that it's really true. You're not wrong about there being a lot more Umbarans here than the company would have probably liked. But in this room, the only heirs are mine and Mela's.
You'd probably be questioning why I would mention that up front. Why wouldn't I talk to my compatriots in private instead of mentioning that right in front of you? I'm questioning, who do you work for and what are the terms?
Mela holds up a hand and interjects and says, I work for the company. I'm the administrator. That is the contractually granted license that I have. My responsibility is to the colonists and a little bit to the company.
Perhaps I let my emotions get the better of me. My apologies.
Notably, the Umburn man does not respond.
I am still a Padawan after all.
Well, as you say, no offense was taken. Now, I was told that you came to negotiate a resolution, but I don't know that that's possible. If we stopped fighting, they would just overrun our position and take us prisoner, and then we would be at their mercy.
How long?
I guess. What are you fighting for? Like to get out of the contract or to get to stay here? What do you want?
Most of the settlers want to stay. They want, I don't want to say a renegotiation, but they want a correction. Nobody is going to say that the company should leave entirely. Just that the terms that were offered are unfair.
But these are the terms that you signed, that you moved here under, correct?
Well, yes and no. The contract hid a lot of the details from us. For instance, most people going into this thought that the contract meant profits. But it means total gross revenue, which means that it's very hard to make a profit.
And
So
you
we
did.
can't
Oh, go ahead.
So we can't actually fund our own investments in the colony, like our own equipment or our own facilities.
Was this in the contract when you signed it?
I have reviewed this contract many, many times in the years since we've been here, And as far as I can tell, the terms were there, but they were obscured, purposefully obscured, in my opinion.
Like just by fancy language, or like you literally couldn't see them?
Well, I would never accuse somebody of using fancy language to sign things, but um, the full scope of the terms were not made readily available to us. The agreement specified, you know, revenues, but we thought that would be net rather than gross.
Well, then it is a contract signed in bad faith. No?
Well, we think so, which is why we brought the issue up with the company. They threatened us and said that they wouldn't change the terms and that we had to continue to work for them for the remainder of our contracts. And most of us are on 30-year contracts.
Oh.
And you have been here for 10, 20?
Those of us who were the original colonists have been here for 14 years now.
Okay. How strong has their mercenary force, would you say, been?
At this, Mela is going to glance over at the unborn man who takes over and says, they have roughly 2 brigades of infantry, and as you may have seen coming in, they have 4 warships that are capable of interdicting most vessels arriving on planet.
So it would be difficult for you to gather support from elsewhere.
Correct.
And your defenses? What do you have in way of defense?
We've organized 4 brigades of colonists and managed to arm most of them. We don't really have ships because all of the ships on the planet belong to the company.
Do you have support elsewhere that could, in theory, engage in space combat, in combat up there while you focus on the ground?
I need perception checks against a difficulty of 3 purple.
Oh,
It's dark in here, so anybody who is not an Umberan is going to take a
not
setback
me.
or Ferreron, yes. Sorry.
And not me, because I have keen eyes, I think.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So those of you that have abilities to overcome darkness are fine. Everybody else is taking a setback die.
Dar
So
took
everybody
a hit on this
meaning
one.
me.
Yeah. Dar took a hit on this one.
You said 3 purple?
Yes, 3 purple.
Oh, okay.
3 purple and no setback die for me.
I'm not. I'm very confused by legal jargon.
Oh wait, it was supposed to be 3 purple and 3 green?
I have 3 green because that's what my...
Oh, you're right.
Perception.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have 2.
My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Borican, as you are observing this, you give something away. Not intentionally, but you telegraph your suspicion to the other Umbarans in the room. Because they're watching you watch them. Nil, it is clear to you that the male Umbaran is not being entirely forthcoming, particularly when it comes to
Their forces?
Their forces. But you get distracted and you knock over your glass of water.
I do?
Spilling, yes, so you spill a little bit of water in your lap. Sorry. Malin, you are very confused by the byplay in the room. In fact, watching everybody's actions is really stressing you out, and you're going to suffer 2 strain for that. Dar, I see the force pips there. Which ability are you using?
Oh, I think it just accidentally rolled those.
Okay. All right. So Dar, you miss this byplay. And
Curse my human eyes.
and it is
Get good.
almost certainly because of the darkness. And you take one mental strain because you feel like you've missed something because a couple of things happened that are out of the ordinary. So yes, Neil, you're 100% sensing that there's some missing piece of information here.
Interesting. I think I'm just gonna keep that information to myself for now. But
Okay.
does he answer my question?
In response to your question, he will say, well, I mean, it's not that we couldn't get support, it's that the situation with the ships makes it difficult for them to actually get here.
I didn't mean ground support. I meant support that could engage the ships that are in the sky.
Well, I don't think they would be able to gather warships to fight warships in orbit. But they have provided funds, and that's allowed us to get our hands on the weapons that
They?
we have. Yes, they.
Would you mind sharing who that is?
So all of you notice that he begins to look very hesitant. And then he'll say, I would really rather not.
Perhaps not in present company.
That is fair.
I can leave.
As I say, what can we get the Umbrar in to speak with them privately?
I can leave.
Dar, are you suggesting that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps not in mixed company. You would be more comfortable in divulging your information.
The man looks over at you and says, while I appreciate your discretion, it's really that we would prefer not to make them known to the Jedi at all.
Why is that?
Well, because as soon as the Jedi know that they're involved, the Jedi will seek to intercede with them.
Why?
This is your first rebellion?
Actually,
Not
no.
So you understand that the Jedi will seek to address all parties in a conflict.
Oh, yeah. But they don't want to talk to us because they don't like us, I guess.
That is an adequate way of summarizing.
That is fairly rude.
Okay.
Since
Who
tensions are
doesn't
high,
love Jedi? We're rad.
We're so cool. We're like really nice.
All right.
since my
Morgan,
emotions
what was
have
that?
clearly given myself away, I'd like to gesture to the water and point out that no one's drank. No one has partaken of said beverages.
Well done.
Oh, I totally have.
Oh, never mind. He's thirsty. You're alive. You're good.
I spilled a little bit of mine.
I immediately picked
picked
my glass up. Stop.
Yeah, I even said I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to refuse his hospitality. So yeah,
Yes.
that glass is gone.
And Morgan, indeed, the other two Umbaran in the room have actually drunk water.
My emotions are clearly compromised.
So, Mela interjects herself back into the conversation and says, "Now, I imagine that you would like to resolve this as quickly as possible, but I don't see resolution happening in the near term."
Right. I guess I don't get. Well, no. I do understand why you would want to be in a fight, for sure. But if you win this fight, surely more corporation people are just going to come and ruin your day, right? So we
Well-
kind of have to talk it out.
They may sponsor another colony, but legally, colonies are not allowed to interfere with each other's business.
Right. So if you did win this fight, and get rid of all the corporation people, you could just have this place? Am I remembering that right?
But you would not be killing the entire corporation. So I see what my companion here is saying. They would just send more mercenaries to fight you, no?
All right. So, Malin, you remember that in order for them to take over the colony, they would need the Republic to issue a new colonial writ.
Yeah, okay.
And we are trying to get
We're trying to get it
Republic
sorted
not
before the
involved.
Republic's involved. Yeah.
Right.
What is the
Well,
name of this company?
So this company is actually called Maxstar, and your records indicate that Maxstar is originally a production company. So they actually are now in the business of shipping raw materials all over.
How much are they involved in the Republic Senate?
Based on your relatively weak grasp. In fact, you know what? Go ahead and give me a knowledge roll, either Horror Worlds or Underworld.
Okay.
And I know for a lot of you that is the exact same set of dice. And your difficulty is average, so you're going against 2 purple die. All right. So you remember that this corporation recently vastly increased its reach within the Republic core worlds, and it did so by swallowing up another corporation. And it did that through a series of hostile takeovers of the subordinate corporations.
So in theory, the Republic wouldn't necessarily want this corporation to stop its activities because this corporation is actively subsidizing money into the Republic.
Right. So broadly speaking, senatorial interests are going to be
towards the corporation.
What is the purpose of this facility? Is it a refinery, a mining, like a factory?
Records indicate that this is a transshipment location, and that most of the colonists here are farmers.
Ah, okay.
There are other settlements on planet that you suspect but haven't actually confirmed are resource extraction, mining, or
gotcha,
ore processing, things like that.
But they all want the same thing. All the colonists, by and large, all the colonists, yes, right, are not interested in continuing their contract. So if we don't have, wait, I'm sorry, you said only Malin knew that they needed a Republic writ, right?
No, you would know as well.
Okay.
Yeah, all of you have had experience with rebellions.
Okay. So, assuming you cannot get this Republic writ, outside of whether or not you win this fight, what would your next step be?
Well, with the corporation gone, there's really nothing keeping any of us here. We could leave, and then the only resolution that the corporation would have would be to sue all of us for breach of that contract, but that would take them decades and billions of credits. So,
which would be more than just paying you a fair share.
Mm.
Can I calm Balin? Can I step into the ship and calm Balin?
Me?
Baylor.
Oh,
who's
Jedi
Bay?
Bay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm mixing names.
Yeah, hi.
No,
So
I was literally just thinking the same thing. Like, we haven't heard anything. And my concern was we haven't heard anything from our cohort. And it's been some time.
Yeah.
From Salt Bay.
Yeah. From Salt Bay. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. Image ruined forever.
As a native Marylander, I was going with Old Bay.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Also pay.
Also appreciated.
Um, so I know that one of you at least has a comm link. So you're on the same planet. You probably don't actually need to return to the shuttle to comm him.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I just more
But
meant I'm gonna return to the shuttle to like just like
Yeah.
talk to him.
private
So I'm not
space,
like
got
doing it directly in front of the settle.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to depart the table and head back to the shuttle, yeah, you
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah, so I would like to calm Bay.
Okay. So you depart and Dar and Borikin and Malin, cover for your absence.
I mean, I'm not trying to be sneaky about it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be like I'm like essentially filling him in on what we've learned so far.
So yeah, you get back to the shuttle. You're able to close the access ramp, and when you call up Jedi Bay on comms, he answers, and you can hear that he's on some sort of speeder.
He found one, stole it.
Right.
Hotwire
Yeah.
to speeder.
The man gets it done. And he responds and he says, well, I haven't actually reached them yet. How are things going there?
They are going slowly. We have learned that the colonists they signed this contract, the same contract that they are under now when they came here 14 years ago, but they are saying that the actual specific terms of it was couched in unclear language. However, it seems they have a force ready for some sort of support that they are not telling us about. What I am curious about, if they manage to win this small fight against these mercenaries that are here, they would. It seems their preferred choice would be to leave this planet and branch out and colonize elsewhere on their own, which would allow the company to sue them, but according to the Umbaran, that would cost billions of credits, which would be more than simply paying the colonists a fair wage. I give this to you as a possible leverage of what is the word in common? Basic, not common. Negotiations.
I suspect that the Umbaran are right about seeking legal remediation being far more expensive than simply paying these colonists what they're worth. But I'm not sure how the corporation would view it. Generally speaking, these corporations are trying to make a significant amount of money off of the back of their colonists.
Yes, of course. But if they're making no money off of their colonists instead,
Yeah, that is an interesting scenario to put forward to them.
there is also something else that I was considering, and that is the fact that the Republic itself has a vested interest in this corporation coming out on top. And I found that rather interesting.
Can you explain that?
This corporation, do we know a name? Do we have a name?
Yeah, Maxstar.
Maxstar. Maxstar has recently, through aggressive takeover, has come into possession of multiple different colonies and has recently reached into the core worlds, which means it is subsidizing money into the Republic Senate now.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Make sure you forward that information to Master Demir. I'm nearly to the mercenary positions, and I want to make sure that they have my full attention. Apologies, Padawan.
Do with that information as you will.
Thank you.
I will talk to you later.
And he'll disconnect from the comm line. So at this point, you've got a better grasp of the situation, and you are attempting to negotiate a resolution. In the back of your minds, you remember that that Nearsol is known for. God, the Salt Bay thing is going to kill me. Oh yeah, he's totally Turkish. So now you know that Nearsol is, but you remember that Nearsol's reputation is the guy who gets things done like fast.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a very big chance that he's just going to go in there and start laying down the law with a lightsaber. So you guys are on a clock, essentially.
I don't know if I probably wouldn't say this publicly, but I don't think I have an issue with that.
That's fine.
It's more like if someone was gonna get the violent end of this situation, I'm kind of okay with it being the corporation. But also like it, yeah. I mean, I guess we've got to just like we need to talk really, so we need to check when Nearsol gets there, like what the situation is.
Okay.
Are you so I'm just gonna straight up kind of gesture to the other Umbara guy and be like, sorry, what was your name?
I am Der Mala.
Der Mala. I just wanted to check, is there like an immediate conflict going on? Because I mean, I'm not great with the legal stuff, but maybe we could stop people getting hurt for a bit while you sort that out.
Currently, some of the colonial forces are engaged with the corporate forces about 20 kilometers from here.
Okay. Because I mean, it sounds like we need to just wait and see if the company's willing to come to the table, which it sounds like they won't be. And if they're not willing to come to the table, then we'll see what Night Bay does about it, right?
I feel like I'm missing something here.
Oh, the colleague that just ran off before. So he's going to go and talk to all the mercenary people to also try and negotiate like a ceasefire. Is that what he's doing? Just look at Dar again.
I believe that is his intent. However, his method may be there will be no one left to fight if no one is left to fight.
Mm.
This does make Dermala laugh. Like a man after my own heart. Interesting approach. Not really what you would expect of the Jedi, but
No.
I assume that this is an implied threat that if we aren't willing to lay down arms, we would be next.
No. I mean, I'm just letting you know the situation. Personally, I think, you know, I get it. Yeah, but I don't know. Night Bay's kind of like above our pay grade, so it's kind of up to him what he chooses to do.
Malin, I need you to make a charm roll.
Oh no.
I need you to make a charm roll
I'd assist, but I'm not there.
against 2 purple, 1 red.
Oh no.
Can I assist?
Yes, yeah, you can assist. How do you want to assist?
I am going to I'm going to lean into whatever they're saying by like, oh yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Just basically yes manning while we discuss.
All right. Yeah. So Malin, you get a bonus die thanks to Dar's efforts to back up all of your statements.
I'm really not trying to make a threat. I'm just trying to explain the situation.
You're not making a threat. You're trying to explain the situation, but you need to convince them.
Yeah. Can I use a destiny point to get a yellow?
You can indeed flip a destiny point to get a yellow die out of a green die. Yes.
I'm gonna do that out of anxiety because
All right.
I'm
Out
not
of-
good at talking.
Pure anxiety.
Pure anxiety destiny point. Okay. Nope. Real bad. It's really bad.
All right. So for the audience, Malin failed her roll. But Malin not only failed her roll, she also rolled a despair.
Ugh.
I should have
So
talked.
bad things are happening, and by which I mean you are about to find out that Jedi Bay tore into the mercenaries.
Ugh.
Did you say Tor?
He tore into them. Arms flying, the whole deal. And because he did that, the mercenaries now feel that they need to strike at the colonists.
Ah, shit.
Oh boy.
Have
Now-
Why do
I
I feel like this is my fault?
Here we go again.
It's not your fault. It is not your fault. It is the dice's fault. Never blame yourself. It's the dice. All right?
Yes.
have I
Um,
rejoined the group by this point?
Yes. And in fact, you've rejoined the group and your comm has gone live again, and it is Jedi Bay, and he said, so negotiations broke down. Also, you may want to take cover because the mercenaries are going to bombard that colony.
With
You don't have
Yeah,
to
ships.
negotiate if there's no one to negotiate with.
Dar gets it.
Sprinkle
but-
a little bit of.
I'm,
They
saying,
are-
I'm,
they are
s- I'm not
attacking-
saying he's right. I'm just saying I understand.
Before we get to panic, this is a good time for us to take a short break. So stick around. We'll see you all after the break, where there will be some resolution and possibly a bombardment of a settlement.
And some Wilhelm screams for sure.
Yes.
Plenty of Wilhelm screams. Welcome back. Before we get back to our space wizards and their adventure, some quick announcements. Ria?
Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Prime Gaming subscription. Prime Gaming subscribers support everyone on the show and get access to sub-only emotes and to a special subscriber-only channel on the TGT Discord. Oh, I got it. I've... There you go.
Yeah. So that's it. Sorry, folks. I will just tell you right now that it is important for everyone to understand that it is not actually Malin's fault that
Thanks
we
for
had to
having
talk
my
about
back.
this briefly. It's not her fault that bad things happen. That is the narrative dice forcing my hand. That
I think
despair
it's
coming
fine
up.
if it's Malin's fault, actually. I've decided that I blame Malin for everything. At all
Okay.
times, not just this.
Great.
That despair coming up means that in the background, I had to make a decision about how the other Jedi's negotiations went. And of course, getting a comm check from him, where he says negotiations are broken down, followed by screaming voices and sizzling flesh. That's where things are at. So as we come back, everybody is there in the room as it is announced on the comms that the settlement is about to be bombarded, probably by new warships in orbit. Let's go.
What do we do about that?
Sorry, yeah, I actually had a question. So, when you said bombardment, does that mean they're about to start firing at us from the atmosphere?
Yes. It is a nuke it from orbit situation.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Good.
Yeah.
And does this facility have any sort of underground or can it sustain that sort of bombardment?
really a building, right?
Are you
Or-
asking that question out loud, Dar?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know that they can sustain orbital bombardment, but we do have sub-basements, yes.
We should perhaps.
I
get
would
in those
recommend
now.
that we move as many there as we can immediately.
Okay. And you'll hear him and Mela get on comms, and they're going to start giving instructions that everybody get either out of the bombardment range or down into one of these basement facilities as fast as possible. And, as that transmission goes out, the whole area becomes a hive of activity as people are moving. Like, there are people nearby, just out of sight that are now running across open ground, heading into other buildings.
Are there any folks we can assist?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there are older colonists. I mean, it's still a colony. There's nobody that's ancient at this colony, but there are some older colonists who probably aren't 100%. You don't know the settlement as well as they do, but sure, if you want to help out and potentially carry stuff and move stuff around, you can do that.
Absolutely.
We need to get our ship out of here, right?
Probably couldn't
Like-
hurt.
When it says bombardment, is that the whole settlement or is that just the building?
It's going to be so, like, trying to hit something from space
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the whole general area of the settlement. So, like, within a kilometer of the center point of the settlement.
Or
probably
orbital bombardments tend to be to whom it may concern.
Yes. Now,
Okay.
granted, you only saw 4 warships. But that's still enough to reduce the settlement to dust.
Yeah.
So you've got maybe 15 minutes where you're helping out, you're moving stuff around, you're carrying kids, calming kids down, and all that stuff, getting everybody into these basement areas.
I think Nil to I don't remember the Umbaran's name.
To Mela
Dermala.
or
No,
Dermala?
Dermala, the main one we've been talking to.
Okay.
I think she'd kind of pull him aside, and she'd just That support you weren't telling us about earlier, I think it is time to call it in.
I appreciate the candor, and I have already done so. Is this your first time being bombarded from orbit, Jedi?
Is that our first time being bombarded?
It is indeed your first time. In fact, it should be everyone's
Yes!
first time, unless somebody has history that I'm not aware of. So Dermala will look at you and go, well, the first thing that happens after an orbital bombardment is that they send in their troops. So immediately
That's what
after
I
this, we will be
guess.
fighting.
All right. You have my saber.
Thank you. And he continues to guide settlers into these basement areas. Dar and Malin,
Hmm.
I need a perception check from both of you against 2 purple, 1 black.
Okay, and I can remove a setback because I have keen eyes
Yes.
or keen senses.
You said 2
Um,
purple?
Yes, 2 purple and 1 black, yeah.
Ah,
All right.
Uh-oh.
Malin, Dar, both of you have enough experience with this kind of structure, this kind of construction, to realize that there are going to be certain substructures that are not going to make it.
Mhm.
And as you are guiding people into these structures, you make a command decision to tell people, "Hey, don't hide in there. Put stuff in there. It's going to survive, and you probably won't."
Mhm.
So you've helped improve the survivability of the settlement a little bit, especially the settlers. Orokin, I need a piloting check from you against difficulty of 2 purple. You've got to figure out where to shelter your assault shuttle.
Now, can I use sense danger to reduce those 2 purples?
No,
Or that no,
because
it would only
sense
be black.
danger only deals with setback. Yeah,
Gotcha.
you have the destiny pull if you feel like you can't make that roll with what you've got.
Let's see now. I'll pull that. You said it was a piloting, right?
Yeah.
Hello. All right. Let's make it happen.
All right. So you look around and you don't see anywhere to hide that shuttle. You give it a solid 3 minutes, and you're like, no, it's just not going to happen. It's going to have to survive where it is.
Am I around him enough to make a suggestion, or are we all just kind of in different areas?
You are with Dermala having your conversation.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right. So as the events collide into each other and you're all in substructures hiding, hoping to make it through this bombardment, it happens, and it is loud. I mean, really loud. It is horrifying because suddenly the earth does not feel solid. You are being moved, and you're not sure why. Directions don't seem to be precise anymore. If you have a particularly weak stomach, you're probably going to lose your lunch, or I guess probably breakfast because you didn't get lunch. It is not fun, and like not even in a vaguely, hey, this is interesting kind of way. You just feel terrified. It is horrifying, and it lasts. It lasts for a solid 10 minutes.
Damn.
So there's dust falling off the ceilings, and this is very solid Duracrete. Like, this is not, weak concrete used for, benches or something. This is meant to hold up ground.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's terrifying. And then it's over, and it's quiet, and it's really quiet. and in your stomach and your ear, your inner ear are all settling back into place. And you can't hear anything because nobody is making any sounds. And it's so quiet.
I'm gonna try and get out of whatever substructure we're in first.
Okay.
At least of my group of people, just to check the area, see what's happened.
So you make your way up to the blast door, and as it starts to open, oh my gosh, is it loud? Because it was so quiet in there. So like the blast door pressure seal coming undone, it terrifyingly loud. Like you've never experienced it before. But it opens up, and outside is dust. Just giant cloud of dust. You can't see anything through it. It's yeah, and yes, you are getting dust everywhere, which, like sand, is terrible.
Gets everything.
Yep.
Coarse and rough and irritating.
Yes.
I think Nil would. I imagine there's like something she can put over her mouth and nose.
Yeah.
All right, so you can't see anything. Yeah, it's dark. It's like really dark outside, and you can't really see beyond maybe 5 meters, maybe.
All right. I'm gonna same thing. Grab some sleeve or a scarf or whatever and kind of wrap that around, and come out of the blast door and try and hear if there are any ships that are starting to land.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception check against 2 purple with 2 setback dice.
Okay, and I can remove one of them?
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So, Malin, something is wrong with your hearing. And you notice that as you're looking and trying really hard to hear everything around you. And you're used to having really astute understanding of your senses. And something definitely feels off. But you do hear in the distance a whine that you would associate with a repulsor lift. And it sounds like it's coming from outside the settlement.
Okay, I'm gonna... Are we in the same substructure or are we in separate ones at this point?
That's a question for the group. Did you guys get into the same substructures or did you split up?
I assumed we were all together.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay.
Oh, I had assumed we were just kind of going into whichever one we were able to as we were herding
Nearby.
settlers.
So there's your answer. Nil is not with you. Orkin and Dar are.
What did we lose now?
Nil, you're probably in the same structure as Dermalo. So
That makes
But
sense.
we have we have ways of communicating with each other individually?
you have comlinks.
Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna get on the comlink and say, I think I can hear a ship coming down in X direction. A little ways out of town.
All right. And Nil, as you're standing next to Dermalo, you'll hear him, having overheard that coming through your comlink, speak into his own comlink, and suddenly, Malin, you are not the only person outside of the blast doors. There are other figures rising, and it looks creepy as heck, because you can't really see distinct features beyond 5 meters, but you can make out shadows and movement, and it's very disturbing.
I'm definitely instinctually just grab my lightsaber and say,
Now we're talking.
Hi?
You'll
Names,
hear
please.
you'll hear a couple responses from villagers. Hi, who are you?
Okay, all right, sweet.
The lightsaber wasn't obvious?
I'm a Jedi. Sorry, that was very creepy. I'm just gonna keep the blast door open for everyone else to get out. Nil, where are you?
I assume
You have some idea of where you were when you went in. Probably
I'd
describe
give-
the structure.
I'd give the vague direction
Mhm.
in relation to the rest of the settlement and the structure that I'm in. And then I'm with Delmara.
Has anybody heard from
Jermala.
Salt Bay?
Faramala. Oh yeah, good point. Near Soul, you still there?
Oh, good, you made it.
Here we go.
Ooh.
How did you get off the ship? Or was he on the ship? He wasn't on the
No.
ship.
No, he was. He
No,
was.
he
with
bailed.
the
He was on a speeder.
mercenaries.
Yeah, he's 20 or 25
Procured a
kilometers
speeder.
before you are.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I imagine this is not your second or third rodeo. Just be prepared because corporate shock troops and mercenaries are coming.
Oh.
Yep. Thanks.
That's fine.
I think Nil would take, because I think, obviously she's never been in an orbital bombardment before. I think she was a little shaky, so I think for just a minute, knowing that the troops are on their way and they're, the settlers are fine, she would just take a minute to sink down and meditate very briefly to recenter
All right.
herself.
Tell me about that. How is Nil perceiving and interacting with the Force in this moment?
So I think she goes down to sit cross-legged. Closes her eyes, and there's there's movement. There's people around her. There's they know people are coming. People are setting up. There's a lot of chaos, and I think she kind of lets it go, as if there's cotton in her ears, and all of a
Okay.
sudden it just kind of fades out to this white noise. And she imagines this kind of blue, watery light going up through her chest, down into her stomach, and then out through her tailbone. So it's just kind of like
Okay.
rising and flowing through her until the trembling in her hands stops, the noise in her mind clears, and she can breathe easily again.
Serenity now. Serenity now.
All right. So, having had an opportunity for everybody to gather their wits, get their gear, get outside, it is time for everyone's favorite thing, which is rolling initiative. So go ahead and hit that special roll button,
Special roll.
Special.
and you guys are going to be able to roll either cool or vigilance. I'm going to let you decide what you
Oh,
want
that's
to
right.
roll here.
That's right.
So go ahead and set your dice. You're not rolling against anything because it's an initiative.
Dar, what's that rule again?
Darn.
I'm going to be using vigilance, that's for sure.
Same. Yeah.
And
And I'm
let's
gonna
see.
go cool.
All right, well done. Wow. Let's see. I gotta.
We
add
knew this would come.
one more. All right.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
All right. Give me a second here. I'm gonna roll initiative for a couple of groups.
Okay.
Sorry.
I hope one of them is near Soul, because if he's gonna get us bombarded and then not fight, that is rude.
So true, Rusty.
Yeah, like
Get his ass.
Rude.
way to throw us under the bantha.
So, it's dusty, and you have a few minutes to prepare. And as the dust is starting to actually settle back down to the ground, and things are starting to clear up, an assault shuttle lands from the direction that you were hearing the repulsor lift drive, Malin, and it disgorges mercenaries. Yep. So you have an entire squad of mercenaries stepping out of that shuttle, making their way down the ramp and beginning to fire. I wouldn't say indiscriminately, but more for suppression than effect.
Okay.
And one of them is going to take a shot at. Let's see, Malin, do you still have your lightsaber on?
I don't think I turned it on.
Okay.
I think I just pulled the hilt out because I wanted
right.
to check who it was first, so no.
Yeah. So that means that unfortunately, Nil, as you are closest to the active fighters, you are going to be targeted here.
Sorry.
And let's see what that looks like. So Nil, blaster fire comes towards your position. One of the colonists near you goes down. But fortunately, you are able to evade that fire. You take cover behind one of the structures real quick. And we are up to one of our Jedi. In fact, all 4 of you get to go.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
I would like to go first, if that's all right.
By all means.
I am going to tap into the Force, and I am going to use the swirling dust of the melee to conceal us from the enemy,
Hell yes.
so they won't be able to perceive us.
So how many of your party are you trying to conceal?
As many as I can.
I think you can conceal 2 at a time.
Yeah, I have Force rating 2.
Well, it's how many
Upgrades to the talent.
upgrades you have. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, it's just the first one.
Okay, so you can only conceal 1 person at a time.
Then I shall conceal me.
All right. So go ahead
That
and
was
roll your Force
shocker.
dice and conceal yourself. Easy day. You
All
are
right.
well hidden. I assume you're going to use the light side connection and not the dark side connection.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sorry, just wanted to be clear there.
Here, now I'm concealed.
Just step back so your background takes over.
There it is. Oh yeah.
So the rest of you notice that Dar fades from view, and in the dusty conditions, it's not super hard, but you realize like visitor is no longer there.
Mhm.
So our next Jedi, if they would.
So as far as force abilities go, I don't remember the tree so much for the base ones. Do we have like force push and stuff? I don't remember.
Unless you've invested
on
in
your tree.
the
Okay.
force power, which I think is telekinesis for force push.
Like,
You don't have it.
Okay.
You
Okay,
are
in
not
that case-
a Jedi yet.
Can I move around the structure toward more of the side of the mercenaries? So if I'm kind of taking cover behind the structure and
Yep.
the mercenaries are in front of it, can I move behind the structure to the other side of it so I
Sure.
can start fighting them like from another direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Blank.
Yeah. So I would like to do that and then take a swing at the closest motherfucker.
Yes.
So you fall back and then all the way around the building to come out on the other side, and you are in the flank of this squad. Go ahead and give me an attack roll because you are fighting with a lightsaber. You only have to roll against 1 purple die. Because you're Rowan, you negate the perception penalty, the visual penalty. So
nice.
One purple. One. Did you say one blue? No.
No,
Okay.
it's against one purple. Yeah, and
That's it.
because I
No
already
black?
know that you. What's that?
No
Yeah,
black.
you're negating that black.
Right. Okay.
Because again, dusty, very hard to see.
I would
Alright,
like to
so-
use my 2 to do critical.
Okay, I was about to ask you what you wanted to do. with your
Yeah.
advantage.
Dang.
So
Yes.
Neil, you've done. You're doing 9 damage here. Their armor is not like that weird armor that you encountered recently.
If I can I use the critical instead of like if I know that this armor if this is gonna like really decimate a bitch, instead of like decimating him too bad, can I redirect and use the critical to also attack another one?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That was a good question, though.
It was. So what I need you to do, because you've decided to crit, is go ahead and hit that special roll button and go down to where it says critical and hit that. Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. That's a pretty big penalty. For a nemesis, for a squad of minions, it just means they can't move.
Sick.
So they are stuck where they are.
Nice.
I feel like that
Uh,
really plays into the fact that I flanked them, so I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dramatically and
Nice.
narratively appropriate here. Yes, you have negated their ability to move. Also, like I said, this armor is not like the armor you encountered just recently. Your lightsaber goes right through it, and
Golly.
you cut through 3 or 4 of these supposedly experienced and elite mercenaries. Yeah, it's brutal.
Okay.
And that brings us to our next Jedi.
I know what I want to do. Is in the dust and stuff. How easy is it? Are there any straight up civilians that have shown up, or are the villagers that are out here at the moment? Are they kind of also combatants?
Every colonist that you can see that is not like a young child is carrying some sort of blaster or lightsaber or other implement.
Oh, so it's a party.
Okay,
party.
all right. Are there any children or anything up here at the moment?
So, as the dust is settling, you've got a pretty good ability to see, but it's still like 15 meters out, and you're kind of, it's getting difficult.
Okay.
Trying to
With
avoid intergalactic war crimes.
Yeah, what I want to do, and I guess it's kind of a combination of movement and stuff, is I just want to shield, like, corral those people out of the way. So,
Okay.
like, the people
wanna get
that are
the-
just getting up blindly in the dust, I want to move them out of the combat.
Okay. Well, we already know that you don't like to charm people.
No.
So let's go with coercion. How do you feel about that?
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So give me a coercion roll against 1 purple. You're not gonna have a hard time convincing these people to
I
take
am
cover.
bitter at this.
All right.
Yeah.
So Malin, you are hustling these younger people, the non-combatants, out of the way.
Move it!
Tell them to get back down in those basements. Get out of here because the fight's coming.
Can I
All right.
use those advantages to recover a strain? Or is that a different thing?
You can. Yes. So that
Great.
is one of the things that you can do with advantage. You can use them to recover strain.
would like to do that.
What else do you want to do with your advantage?
Ooh, can I pass a bonus to Borikin? Because I got 3 of them, so that should be enough, right?
So just to be clear, Borikin hasn't acted yet this turn or this round, which means that you can just pass your remaining
true.
2.
The
and
next
he'll
person.
get them.
Great, I will do that.
All right. As I said, Borikin, you're up.
All right, so I've assessed the battlefield enough, and I want to follow suit with what Nil has led the charge on, since we've already got somebody defending, and Dar is concealed perfectly and capable of acting on his own. So I'm going to follow Nil, and Can I use my sense danger to remove any I guess any issues for anybody else? Can I pass that on to another turn, or for anybody else who might have a setbacks considering the environment?
So the only person I think who's taking setbacks because of the visual environment is Dar. And you don't know where Dar is. Like, I need to be clear here. Like, you can't visually perceive him. You can't orally perceive him. If you could smell his scent, you can no longer smell his scent. And as far as the Force is concerned, he's not there either. So you can't, like, target anything towards him.
So you didn't hear me say that. We'll just worry about that later.
so
let's go.
What do you want to do?
I want to ignite my lightsaber and get rocking.
Right. So you're in a slightly different position. You just want to charge into that same squad that Nil has just
Absolutely
cut through. Okay. All right. Once again, because you're using a lightsaber, and I know that you are not visually hindered by the dusty darkness, you have a roll against 1 purple.
And that is it. All right. Let's go. 1 purple, right?
Yep.
Bam.
So Morrigan, you step in, and again, unlike the armor that you recently encountered, hint to the audience, your lightsaber goes through this armor like butter. And 2 more of the supposedly elite mercenaries go down, and whatever Nil did, they are completely, beleaguered. And there's just 2 of you engaged right now. Granted, there are blaster fire going back and forth, but they don't look so good.
Hello there.
And as you are taking care of this squad of supposedly elite mercenaries, another shuttle comes in about at the very edge of your ability to perceive it at this point, everybody. And it also disgorges another squad of mercenaries. And they're going to...
Where the fuck is our
ahead.
Jedi Knight?
He's doing stuff.
They're going to go ahead and because the only 2 people they can really perceive at this point are Boriken and Nil, they're going to go ahead and fire at Boriken.
Yeah, of course.
Right? This is how it works. Big things get punished, right? So Boriken, it's a barrage of blaster fire. And you got your lightsaber out, and you're trying to get out of the way, but you just don't quite make it. So I'm going to ask you the questions. Do you have reflect?
You know what? Let's double check. What do we have, Johnny? Let's see. I have parry. No, I have reflect.
Okay.
I do have reflect.
All right.
Nice.
So you can spend 3 strain to negate 3 damage.
Absolutely.
And I imagine your soak is 4, unless you are stronger than I think you are.
Well, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it.
It's 2 plus whatever your brawn is.
My soak is 2? Or no, because I have armor, so it's 4.
Okay, yeah. So between those things, you are completely able to negate the damage. And narratively speaking, what Borkin does is he parries several of those blaster bolts with his lightsaber.
Sick.
Parry, thrust.
And because Malin has been complaining so loudly about where Jedi Bay is, this is the moment where Jedi Bay enters the scene.
Good.
Of course.
So you can hear an extremely loud repulsor lift whip past you, and there's a man on that repulsor bike that blasts past you, throwing dust everywhere, with a lightsaber out, and he also barrels into the squad of mercenaries that Borikin and Nil have been really, really cruel to.
Whoa!
They bombarded
That's
us
a bit mad.
first.
Exactly.
Right. They did it first. They're the meanies. Yeah. All right. Let's see. how this
Lightsabers
goes.
are lit. No cap.
So
They are lit, yeah.
he's on a light. So he has a lightsaber, but he's on a speeder bike that is probably going full speed, and it's dusty. But this does not seem to slow him down at all, because he just shreds the remaining mercenaries. Let me go ahead and roll that critical.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. This guy.
Right. Well, I mean, he is what he is.
No, for sure.
And I'm going to go ahead and use that remaining advantage to pass a bonus die on to both Boriken and Nil. So you both have a bonus die on your next roll. Please remember that, because I probably won't. Just like I have forgotten that most of you have ranged defense. All right. So we're into the next round. And as I said, those mercenaries that offloaded between the attacks that Nil, Boriken, and Jedi Bay have executed, they're out of this.
Nice.
They are no longer in this fight, which means all four of you are up. Whoever wants to go.
I feel like I haven't done much. So here's a question. Can I get to the second mercenary squad before I drop my concealment, and then I am in amongst them like the whirlwind?
Your concealment ends at the end of your turn.
Ah. Or until, guys start exploding when I hit them with a lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean,
For that.
they can make
Is
some
that a thing?
informed decisions about what's going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So you can make your way invisibly, stealthily, however you want to put it.
I mean, if they can't perceive me, I'm just running full tilt right up to them, and then
Yep.
I can ready my lightsaber as a free action and go to town.
Yep.
Get their
And
ass.
you are against one purple because lightsabers are green. And because you are invisible, you're also getting a bonus die. And yeah, go ahead and let us
Is
know
it
how that
still
goes.
dusty enough to give me a black die?
Oh,
Because
yes.
the shuttle just landed.
Yes.
So
So
I
it's still
imagine it would
dusty
be
enough that
very
you're taking a
dusty.
step back die. Yeah.
Okay.
And Bay
Can I
just came through
use-
with a speeder bike.
Yeah. So thank you
Can
for
I-
keeping me honest and you down.
Can I now use my sense danger in order to take that die off?
But you don't need to, because Dar has no problem whatsoever. So Dar, you appear literally out of nowhere. Granted, not the best conditions to begin with. They are taken completely by surprise. What do you want to do with your advantage?
I would like to press critical.
Okay, press critical.
All right.
Okay, wow. Yep. So, Dar, you step in, and you are in the middle of this squad somehow. You cut through at least two of the mercenaries, and the third one, falls into their compatriots, and they are completely hamstrung. Literally hamstrung.
And then,
but also metaphorically.
And then for my final advantage, I can pass that on to the next person.
Sure.
I will do so.
All right. Who's going next? And
Just make
also
sure
getting
you
another
yell
bonus
something cool when you just start ripping through these guys.
die. So, by the way, at the end of this, the pandemonium and chaos that he's inflicted in the squad, Dar does reappear.
I would like to go. So we've decimated the mercenary group we were in. How can I make it to the other group? Just kind of full tilt, fucking
Yeah. Yeah, if you
terrifying.
want to, if you want to run towards the other group, you'll be able to make it. Yeah, you're not you're not so distant that it's impossible. These ships are maybe 30 meters apart.
It would have to be a roll if I wanted to like jump myself in the middle of them, right?
You would have to roll athletics if you wanted to do that. Correct.
Would I still be able to take an action if I did that?
That would be your action.
That would be my action.
Yeah.
Nil, you are my spirit animal.
Wanted to go. Okay, so instead of doing that, so I can get them all, I'm gonna start rolling to attack. I have 2 advantage die.
Yeah.
You carried one from Malin, and
One from-
Dar is granting one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the blue ones, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The bonuses.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
1,
sorry, from
2,
Jedi Bay.
3, and then 1 purple and 2 advantage. Right?
Mm.
Yes, against 1 purple. Yep. All right.
Wow.
It works.
So, Neil, you dash from the squad that Jedi Bay cut through and on to the next. So you're momentarily surprised because Dar pops up right in front of you. But that doesn't seem to be- you cut
Hello.
through another 2 mercenaries. This looks like a very one-sided battle at this point.
Uh-oh.
So,
That makes me nervous, actually.
whoa, what's going on now? So who's next? Who's next?
You go.
Me?
I'm on
Yep.
cleanup.
All right.
Yeah, you go.
I'll do it. All right. So, what's the biggest threat we've got on the battlefield right now?
Jedi Bay, 100%, but he's
I
not.
was just about to say.
He needs to be dealt with.
Who's the biggest threat? Oh, he's on our side.
Oh, never mind. All right. So, numero dos.
It is the final squad that has not yet been engaged, but you don't know where they are. You haven't seen them arrive. You just know that they're out there.
Are they nearby potentially, or is it something that they're waiting on, or is it they just haven't actually arrived yet?
Well, do you want to spend your turn trying to figure that out?
I was gonna say, yeah, I might want to just go and try to figure out what's going on with
Okay.
additional reinforcements. Absolutely.
So you can give me a vigilance or perception roll against a difficulty of 2 purple and 1 setback, which you can ignore because you are a Baran.
All right, so let's see. Should I go with let's go with the vigilance. Or actually, you know what? The perception? No, yeah, I'm gonna go with the vigilance.
Okay.
So, all right, and I got a bonus die, right?
Yes.
Just wanted to remind you, keep you honest. That's all.
Thank you.
Boom.
Okay. All right. So you have noticed and or realized, or the force has reached out and touched you and granted you this wisdom
Reach out
that
and touch faith.
because you had 2 squads land next to each other, it means that the other squad is almost certainly coming from the other side. So they are behind you, which makes them the biggest threat that is not Jedi Bay. What do you want to do with your advantage, by the way?
I'd like to pass that on to the next roll.
Okay. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the system, Borkin rolled 4 successes, but because most skill rolls are simply pass, fail, there's not a whole lot going on beyond, he knows, like really deeply in his bones, knows that they're about to be attacked from behind.
Get attacked, we will.
Which I think leaves Malin. Malin? Is that right?
Yeah. I think what I'm actually going to do, because of the so in terms of narratively, is passing on that advantage enough for like me to know where the other group is going to be coming from?
No, I mean, but Borkin could have called that out.
Okay.
Way to call me out.
A reference to an older rule book that we don't talk about anymore, but talking is a free action. It doesn't necessarily have to take place on your turn.
Fair enough.
I think because the lightsabers are kind of the only thing that's giving us away, I'm gonna instead take out my blaster pistol and try and shoot somebody to try and stay like hidden in the dust.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a
Brilliant.
solid
I like
plan.
it.
so uncivilized.
So uncivilized.
So, are you approaching the one squad that is currently being engaged by Nil and?
Yeah, I think I want to try and take out the last few of those guys.
All right. So, are you moving towards them, or are you staying where you are?
If at medium range, because I was
Okay.
kind of gathering a bunch of people, so would I be all right to not move?
Sure. Just remember, medium range means that you're rolling against 3 purple.
Okay, that's fine. Can I use one of my maneuvers to aim?
Yes, you can.
Great.
This
Okay,
gives you a bonus die.
so that's 2 bonuses, and then 3 green, 1 yellow against 3 purple.
Correct, because you are negating the 1 setback that you would normally have due to your keen senses. Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a go.
Okay.
Ooh.
What is the damage rating on your blaster pistol, Malin?
It's 5.
So that is a total of 10 damage.
Yeah.
I will tell you now that blaster pistols do not go through armor the same way that lightsabers do.
Yeah, that's fair.
But in this case, you are going to overwhelm their 3 soak.
Yeah.
They're gonna take 7
And-
damage, and they go down in a hail of blaster fire.
Cue Wilhelm scream.
Can we get that on the soundboard, Chella? Can we work that
Yes.
out later?
All right. So it's technically Jedi Bay's turn, but Jedi Bay was going too fast, and he uses his turn to turn around and come back towards the fight, which means that the only thing that's going to happen is that group of mercenaries that Borakan realized must be coming from behind are coming from behind. And they are
Jedi Bay
going
seems
to-
a bit salty.
They are going to come from behind, and they're going to take a shot at. I'm sorry to do this, but it's going to have to be Malin.
Can they still see me?
I mean, they're not shooting at you specifically. They're shooting at all the people around you.
Yeah,
you happen
true,
to
fair.
be there. Sorry.
All right, that's fine.
And it turns out it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Terrible shots.
My plan
Woof.
worked.
Narratively speaking, Malin has succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams.
The force
they
is
not only
strong
miss
with
Malin,
this one.
They don't do any damage that you can perceive to the colonial forces, which means we're back to our Jedi heroes. Who's
Damn.
up?
I feel like Darjavada should go first.
Okay. I assume I'm still engaged with this squad.
That squad that you were in just went down in a hail of blaster fire.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Then.
But yes, you survived just fine
I am.
because nobody rolled a despair on that roll.
Dude,
So,
Yay.
way up.
I am going to leapfrog to the next unit.
all right. So the only forces that you know are left are the one unit that you had not yet personally seen, but they started firing on Malin's position, so you now know where they are.
Okay.
But it's a distance away. It's going to take you your entire turn to get there.
Okay.
So is that what you want to do, or do you want to stop and do something else?
I would like to move toward them, and then I will do my forcey.
Okay. So you're going to use
my
misdirect.
horsepower and
All right.
disappear again.
Sure. Okay.
That was with all my lightsaber die. Never mind.
No. You rolled the force dice. That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that you did fine.
Apologies.
You've got enough pips. Not a big deal.
Yay!
All right. So, those of you paying attention see Dar take off in the direction of the blaster fire that just came in, and then disappears into the remaining lingering dust.
Oh, yeah.
What a badass.
So, who's next?
Well,
I'm gonna stay
Borican-
on cleanup crew, so you two go.
Yeah, I feel like Borican knew those bitches were coming. Go get their ass.
Let's go.
All right. So, Borican, because you were not engaged with the other group, you are actually close enough that you can both move and attack this turn if you choose to do so.
Boom. Yes, absolutely.
All right. So you are up against
All of that.
one purple. Do you have any bonus dice?
I should still have a bonus dice, no? Or is that already?
Think you've used that.
No, you used that.
No, you're
Okay.
right. Yes, I did. So.
So
no,
you're up against one purple.
Okay, not a problem.
And again, for the audience, because he's Umberan, he can ignore the bad visual conditions, as can most of our cast, actually.
We're very fortunate in that sense.
Right.
Sense, get it? No, never mind.
You're banned.
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm like trying to set up my die at the same time. Like, you know what? No, processing power is not working. It's okay. I can admit it. Roll the dice.
Roll tape.
There it is.
Yep. All right, Borican,
Nice.
you step in, and then in front of you there is an entire squad of slightly more elite-looking mercenaries.
Uh-oh.
Ever so slightly more elite-looking. Yeah, you tear a couple of them apart. But what do you want to do with your advantage dice?
Well, what should I continue forward or should I just pass that on? What do you think? Who do you have anything you want to do? Who's up next? I'll ask that question first.
I think it's me, but I think I'm too far away to attack, aren't I?
Yeah, no, you won't be able to make it this turn.
All right,
Make it
so
critical.
so being that, yeah, let me go critical.
Yeah.
All right,
Crit.
all right. Go ahead and open up your special rolls and hit that critical button.
Let's go.
Yep.
Yay, son!
Nice.
Morgan steps in, and you can tell that these guys are not going anywhere.
Space rocked.
We caught him flat-footed.
Again,
Yay.
Nil, I believe it's your turn.
Yeah. I don't think I have a blaster, right? I would have had to buy that.
Correct.
Okay, then yeah, can I use my whole action to move all the way to them?
Yes. Yep. So you are what effectively is short range away from them, but free action to engage next turn. So you can just go right into your attack next turn.
Okay,
Does that make
great.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And batting cleanup is Malin.
Okay, so they're short range from me at the moment? Or
They
like
were medium range from you.
okay. Yeah, alright. Everybody's kinda grouping up, so it's probably time to get in on stuff. I will move. You know, just for flavor, I'm gonna do a force leap because I could do that.
Okay.
So to like
Nice.
basically try and capture a lot of their attention so that they're not bothering with like any of the local troops. They're just worried about us.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will go to force die. Yes. Okay. So I can force leap short range, and then I will use my other thing to move,
Okay.
and then I also have quick draw, so I can draw or holster a weapon as an incidental. So
Yep.
can I do that to like get my lightsaber out?
Yes,
And
you
just
can
keep
draw
trying
your.
to
Well, I
draw
assume
it.
your other hand is free, so you can draw your lightsaber.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
All right. So, Malin leaps into the air, does a somersault, lands right in front of these mercenaries, and her lightsaber is out and ignited. Very, very cinematic.
Theatricality and deception are powerful techniques.
So you hear the roar of that speeder bike again, and it pushes through the center of the settlement, but there's nobody on it at this point. So that's weird.
What?
Yeah, no, nobody on the bike
Yes.
anymore.
This
Very
fucking
strange.
guy.
He just rode through town, cut up some people, and then gone. What happened? To
Bye.
him? Yeah. His horse came back though. So the final mercenary squad, having bought into all the theatricality and the dramatics of Malin's leap in, are going to once again try and shoot Malin. They are slightly better off than they were before because Malin is closer to them. But we'll see what happens. They didn't do very well last time. Okay. Malin, you are going to be hit by blaster bolts unless you want to try and reflect. Do you have reflect?
I don't have reflect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you know what your soak is?
3.
Your soak is 3. All right. And they're going to do 7 damage minus 3, so 4. You take 4 wounds.
Alrighty.
Oof.
Ow!
Yeah.
Oof,
This is what I wanted, but ow!
I just want to point out that is the first casualty of this encounter.
What?
Nice.
So, I
Bingo.
feel bad, but at the same time, like, not that bad. Does that make sense?
That's fine.
So Malin, just update your wounds on the tracker, and
Oh, yes.
we are back to heroes.
I think I can make it to the more elite squad now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do my my abracadabra act
Right. So you
once
get-
again as I cut into them.
So you get that bonus die against 1 purple.
Okay. And is it still dusty enough that I suffer the black one?
Yes. Sorry,
Okay.
it's going to be dusty until the end of this battle.
Gotcha. All right. Then I will roll. Blam!
Completely irrelevant to Dar Javada, lightsaber master. Dar, go ahead and describe to me how you end this.
I am going to leap in among them.
Mhm.
Although they don't see it until the first guy gets tripped up on his feet,
Yep.
and I slam my lightsaber underhanded down into him,
Oof.
and then I stand up, taking off an arm before flipping the grip around and bringing it back down through the next guy.
Oh, brutal. So that's what the rest of you see as Dar finishes off these supposedly elite mercenaries. In the background, the blaster fire begins to fade as the crisis is starting to
Avert.
be averted. Yes, sorry. Thank you. And the dust also begins to settle at that point. Sorry, Dar. Literally and
Oh, no.
metaphorically, the dust settles after it stops mattering to Dar.
Well, I mean, that's cinematic as hell.
It is
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
sick. Wait, can I see where Bay is? Where the hell is this guy gone?
Okay, yeah, no. If you want to try and find him, go ahead and give me either a vigilance or a perception check. You can choose whichever is higher. I don't care.
Okay, great.
It is no longer dusty, so you are not suffering any setback. But you really have no good idea where he is, other than what direction that speeder bike came from.
Okay. What difficulty is it?
That's why it is against 2 purple.
Okay, alright. Where the hell did this guy go? Where is he? That's
So,
3
Malin,
successes.
You're a pretty experienced tracker. You are able to make logical conclusions, like if his speeder bike came from that direction, he's probably in that direction. Looking around, you can actually see, now that the dust has settled, at the far side of the settlement, there is Jedi Bay. His lightsaber is currently on, and there's another man there, also wielding a lightsaber. And as you are watching, Jedi Bay steps forward and his lightsaber runs through this guy, who's wearing, by the way, a uniform that looks pretty similar to what the mercenaries were wearing.
Okay.
But he had a lightsaber, right?
Yeah,
He had a lightsaber.
is it it's unusual for non-Jedi people to have lightsabers in this current
No.
era? Okay.
So, experienced military officers, nobles, people of station and status often carry and know how to use lightsabers.
Okay. I think I'm gonna run over that way. Not really aware of whatever drama is going on with those two, but still just annoyed at Nersol.
Okay.
Investigate
Hey, what the
further.
hell was that?
100% you can be annoyed at him. He deserves it.
Yeah.
So combat is effectively over. We're out of initiative order. You guys can do whatever you want, in whatever order you choose.
Did I also see that guy just get run through? Or no?
Malin, did you point out where he is?
I am storming over to him saying, "What the hell is that?" very
All right.
loudly.
So the rest of you can make a perception or vigilance check with 2 bonus dice, because Malin has stormed off in a direction, and that strikes you as probably related to something important. Dar, you also witnessed the end of what was probably a lightsaber duel, if you had to guess. Nil, you as well?
Yeah, Nil would go over.
Okay.
How many bonus die?
2.
2. All right.
Dar, what do you want to do with your advantage?
I
guys-
would like to use it to relieve some strain.
Just want to point out you guys forgot to add the 2 purple dice.
Oh,
I was like, why
How-
are
how
their advantage
convenient.
scores
Damn
so
good.
high? I'm like, oh, because there's no threat.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'm gonna reduce my strain.
So,
Why is my name not coming up when I roll?
because you forgot to add it, we'll talk about that later. Nil, you don't notice anything. You just see Malin storm off in a direction, and you're like, oh, that's interesting,
Sometimes.
but don't follow through. Give me a second here. I'm just gonna roll real quick. Morgan. Okay, yeah. So Morgan, you see fine. And Dar, you also see fine.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so go ahead and drop your strain. Also, it is the end of combat, which means you can roll cool to recover strain. So anybody that still has
Oh, okay. Neat.
strain can roll cool and recover however many they roll successes. I think Morrigan is the only one who has strain, so.
Do I get any reaction from Nersol?
Can I-
So,
do I you want me
Malin,
to roll
as
that
you are
now or
storming
no?
up- what's that?
You want to roll that now or next turn?
You can go ahead and roll your pool now if you want to. So, Malin, as you're storming up to Nersol, he extinguishes his lightsaber and kicks the lightsaber hilt of the guy away from the guy. He doesn't look like he's dead per se, but without immediate medical treatment, he's probably not going to make it. And your soul looks up at you and goes, "Hey, I'm guessing that the mercs are gone."
Yeah, no thanks to you.
Well,
What happened? The speeder came back and you didn't.
Right. Yeah. No, I had to take care of And he looks down at the guy below him, the mercenary captain.
Any reason you had to take care of him alone?
Well, I ran into him alone, and yeah, just seemed expedient.
Does this mercenary dude look like he might be like? Is he just the leader of the mercenaries, or maybe part of the corpo? Like, what's he look like?
What's his deal?
What's his deal?
Give me a core world knowledge roll with. Neil is from the upper classes, correct?
No, she's from. Ferroa is not. Ferroy is not in the core world.
Okay.
She
So
started
go ahead
from
and
the
just
bottom,
give me a
now
core
she's here.
world's knowledge roll.
Against purple?
Sorry, yeah, 2 purple dice. So Nil, looking at how he's dressed, he's wearing the same colors effectively as the mercenaries, and the fact that he's carrying a lightsaber, you would estimate that he is actually a member of the mercenary company and not a direct employee of the corporation.
I think while they're talking to Bay, Nil would go down. She's not very good at bedside manner. You are going to die. Now, if we don't do anything. So I need to know everything you know about the corporation that hired you.
Ooh, okay. What skill are you hoping to use here? Because this could either be coercion or negotiation or charm.
Coercion, negotiation.
I would imagine charm since it's bedside banner, right?
Well, I guess they're all the same for me.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there one for just like statement of fact? Probably coercion is probably what she's rolling.
You
Okay.
gonna die.
Sure. Yeah. Let's go coercion against.
Well, could I do? I don't know, streetwise, kind of like cunning, like maybe not. Probably
Yeah,
not.
I
right?
think
Not
that's
really. Yeah.
Okay.
So coercion against 1 red, 1 purple for me, please. Oh, and you get 2 bonus die because yeah, that's a pretty realistic threat.
Yeah.
All right. So he's not in great condition. He's sputtering. He sounds terrible. And he says, "I'm just a mercenary. We were hired to take care of these colonists.
Why?
Because the corporation owns their contracts."
Saints, you are so unhelpful. Somebody talk to him.
somebody use the
I say
Batman
that
voice.
why
Who
is a
sent
very
you?
open-ended question for an interrogation.
Well, she is not a people person. She is not.
Okay.
Can I do? I don't know what kind of check it is, but I wanted to see. Can I determine if Bay is telling the truth about just going and fighting this guy because he showed up, or whether there was more beef to it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. That is going to be either skullduggery, if you have that skill,
I don't.
I have that skill.
So do I.
or you can run it against perception.
Okay. They're both the same. So let's go perception.
All right. So you're taking a setback die because this is not really in your wheelhouse. You have not
Okay.
trained for interpersonal relation stuff like this.
But I can remove that setback because of Keen-Eyed? Maybe? She asked
I'm
hopefully.
thinking about this. I'm gonna say no Because
Okay.
your keen-eyed is based on your wilderness and tracking ability, not
Yeah.
this.
That's fair. That's fair.
But that
hate
was a good
saying
try.
no. I always want to say yes, but I hate saying no. So go ahead and roll that against difficulty of 1 red, 2 purple. Sorry.
Oh, damn. Okay.
The
all
dude
right.
is good at hiding his emotions.
Hmm.
Weird how Jedi do, right?
Oh no, no
You
idea.
got no idea. As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
Okay. All right.
But really, you don't have a good read on him at all, and you can tell you don't have a good read on him.
All right.
And you take 2
I
strain.
think Nil would turn back, like she's frustrated, but she'd turn back to him and be like, "Why do they care so much? How much did they pay you, and where did they get the money from?"
He's
Who
going
are
to
the
pause and
mercs
say,
working for?
they're a corporation. They have plenty of money.
Yeah. So why did they hire you, not just pay their workers?
Because the workers revolted.
Give me the name of the person that hired you.
His name is Darson. Darson Baylor.
Do we know that name?
Go ahead and give me either a Core Worlds or Underworld knowledge check.
These are clearly skills I need to up.
So, a little bit behind the scenes for the audience. During the character creation sessions, I did say that you may want to invest in knowledge skills, but I understand that, like, in the immediate near term, it's not going to seem like a good investment. But yes, you probably do.
That's my.
Can I roll to
against
see
how
if
many
I know
purple?
that?
I'm sorry, I forgot to roll against a purple.
Yeah, so all of you are have the opportunity to roll. Yes, yeah. So roll against 2 purple. But all of you have the opportunity to roll to see if you can recognize that name.
So those were mine. It's this 1 success against those other 2.
What was that? What was that again? It was education, knowledge, lore.
Yeah, it's a knowledge check. Either Underworld or Core Worlds.
Eh.
What do you want to do with the advantage, Malin?
Can I? Is it 1 to recover a strain? Because I do actually have 1 strain left.
Yes.
I'm gonna do that.
You can actually recover as many strain as you want to if you have advantage. Enough advantage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's right.
Okay. So, and Deborah, can you take 1 strain? So Dar,
Fine.
that name is familiar to you. You believe, based on your understanding of who that individual is, he is probably the chief security officer for Max Star.
I've heard his name in certain unsavory circles. This is definitely one of the higher security officers for Max Star.
As they're doing that, I would like to try to stabilize his wounds.
Sure.
Would you? Because you don't sound like you.
Whatever.
I guess.
I didn't want to do the right thing. It's terrible.
She's not a people person. It's fine. She's into it.
It's great.
So, like, to put this in perspective, what she's doing now is what you should all have been thinking about, but
As Jedi.
as Jedi, because it's going to get her a bonus on her morality roll
Hey.
at the end of this. But none of you have done anything that strikes me as that would grant you conflict. None of you have used the dark side. You absolutely 100% tried to resolve this issue without violence. So I'm not holding it against you that things went violent, which is why none of you have a conflict score right now. So, but if you had failed to try and help the guy, I probably would have held it against all of you. Just to be clear here.
He's dying. Let's help him get there.
I was trusting Bay's judgment that he wanted to run this guy through.
So medicine is intellect. Unless you have it trained, Nil.
Um, unless I have training, is that what you said?
Yeah. Do you have the medicine skill? Otherwise, it's just going to be your intellect score.
I mean, I have a two, no, I have 2 in the green to it.
2 green. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna roll against 3 purple, but what I will say here is that because you don't have a med kit, you're also gonna take 2 setback. I would say if you really want to do this and you want a chance to succeed, look at the destiny pool.
So, real quick, for the destiny pool, is that what we have to roll against at the end? Eric?
No,
Okay.
no. So the destiny pool is those tokens are for your use and for my use. The dark side ones, anyway. You can use them to change the stakes of a roll. So in this case, you can flip a destiny point or a destiny token to upgrade one of your dice from green to yellow.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to do that.
Okay. And you can also use them to generate bonus dice.
So,
So
is
just,
it
personally, I think upgrading is better.
okay? So instead of bonus dice, upgrade.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially because you have setback. So go ahead and hit one of the silver ones. All right. And then
Ooh.
give me your medicine
Ooh.
roll.
Oh.
So Nil, this guy is not going to survive this. And as soon as you start working on him, you realize that you lack the things that you need to potentially save him. You don't have any medical kits. You don't have any surgical implements. You don't have
Any training?
any training, like any formal training. Clearly, like basic first aid is something that you know, but this is beyond your capabilities. You need a doctor here, essentially. Or he needs to go immediately back to the...
Can I use my advantage to, like, summon a doctor or a healer or someone who's a little bit more, at least knowledgeable?
Sure. We can go ahead and say that you're going to use your advantage to get
Get a medic.
an actual medic here, and sure enough, an actual medic does show up. Not long after you fail to do more than clean his wounds.
Well, at least he
which
won't.
is not-
At least he won't die from infection.
Which is not unhelpful, but was not going to save his life. So the medic takes over, and he's not in any condition to answer any more questions. But you got a name, and Dar seems to know who he is.
Sick.
Yeah.
By the way, Jedi Bay has said nothing and doesn't seem interested whatsoever in the conversation that you've just had.
Wait, Bay is the imposter. Oh, damn, wrong game. Sorry.
That's a different space game.
Yeah, sorry, he's not actually among us. But as your erstwhile interrogation concludes, he'll start walking back in to the settlement in the direction of the landing pad. The guy has a reputation. So, disinterested in your conversation on the shuttle, disinterested in the conversation that's going on here. But as you think about it, technically you succeeded in the mission.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, do we know now that this course of action has taken place? Do we know what the next recourse is? Like, would the Republic still end up getting involved?
I know Nil would like to try to do some research and follow the money.
Okay. So Nil, that is either going to be
I don't know if that's like a right now thing,
okay.
as opposed to like this is like a more long term desire.
Sure.
She wants to look at the corruption in the Senate. Like that's in the Republic. Like I think
Okay.
that's her new overarching goal.
She's gotten a
Government
taste
totally
of Republic
sucks.
corruption, and she is not pleased.
Yeah.
got it.
Uh-huh.
All right. So Bay takes off. He's heading back through town towards where the shuttle was parked. By the way,
Yeah.
you guys have no idea what happened to your shuttle.
Yep.
Yeah. And let's see what happened to it narratively speaking.
Oh god. Please don't explode. Please don't explode.
That's fine.
So
So Morgan, as you look in that direction, you can see that your shuttle's still sitting there. It doesn't look any worse for wear. Um, I was sitting here going like, I actually did not decide how that was going to happen. Yeah. So shuttle's there. You have a name, Dar. You seem to understand who this guy is.
Yeah.
And the fact that he does indeed have an underworld reputation, which is interesting for a corporate security officer.
Yeah.
Mm.
In the immediate though, like in terms of the rebellion,
Did you satisfy the requirements that your master set before you?
kind of, and also like, do we have a next step for the rebellion, or are they basically just in the same place that they were?
They're in a better place because you guys actually tore through like an entire brigade's worth of mercenaries.
Who are also in a better place.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Actually, more accurately, they're all over the place.
That
I feel
I
like
felt
cut
that.
through a significant portion of the mercenary forces and took out at least one of the officers. The mercenaries, so like mercenaries, you understand, are very risk averse. So like putting down a farmer rebellion is totally different from having a bunch of Jedi show up and rip through your forces. It's different.
So we would
different
have helped at least by showing that the Jedi were interested in the conflict.
Right.
Yeah, and I think Nil's next step is going to be wanting to investigate Max Star a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So investigating Max Star seems like a pretty good course of action. And I will tell you that right now, your experience tells you that like this rebellion isn't necessarily over, but it's far less likely to attract Senate attention now because there's nobody to fight. Corporate security is not going to come down and fight a bunch of colonists. So, and I would say that as you depart to head back to the Republic cruiser that is still in system, you can see that 2 of the warships have departed, and you suspect that the latter 2 will leave shortly because Jedi getting involved means that the terms of that contract have changed in a way that most companies aren't going to accept.
I would like to, at some point, if we're planning on leaving, I would like to apologize to Bela and Darrell.
Sure.
Just like, sorry, your place got exploded.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I will tell you that the roll that I just made for what actually happened during the bombardment, nothing was destroyed.
Nice.
Those gunners were crap.
What? Where did the support that Dermala called in? What was it?
You don't know. Because as far as you can tell, it hasn't arrived.
That seems pretty consistent with Star Wars universe. And enemies can't hit crap.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They somehow have space stormtroopers, even though that's not era appropriate.
Plot armor.
All right.
Although speaking of that, I am really sore.
I will say that right now, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up.
Yeah.
What I want to give all of you an opportunity to do is to reintroduce yourself and your character and talk about where we can find you on social media. And I think to stay consistent, we will talk to Nil first again.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Ria. I play Nil, a Ferroan Padawan. And honestly, the best place to find me is usually either here on Twitch at Apathetic Lesbian, spelled exactly how it sounds, or on Instagram, which is It's Ria G.
All right. On to the next. That's you, Drew.
Oh, I'm Drew Carrington. I play Dar Gervada, and he is a Jedi Padawan going down the consular path. You can find me on all the social medias, including right here on Twitch at 1 Inch Heroes. And I am a commissioned miniature painter and sculptor and creative.
All right. And Paul.
Paul Cruz. My character is Boriken Lenoto. He is an Umbran Jedi Padawan, and you can find me. I'm mostly on Instagram. Cruz Paul R. Same thing with Twitter. So CRUZPAUL, and then R, my middle initial. And I'm also the host of a podcast, the Latin Experience podcast. You can find it on Spotify and pretty much wherever you can find it on podcast areas and all that stuff, and on YouTube. So Latin Experience. So just take the E out.
And I guess our favorite Kiwi.
Oh, thanks. Hi, I'm Ruby. I play Malin, the human Jedi Padawan and Pathfinder. And you can find me on Twitter, for as long as it's still around, at Ruby_Kimp, and everywhere else at This Is Ruby OK. I do game streaming on Twitch, and if you want to play more RPGs with me, you can also hire me as a GM through questbook.nz. It's a real fun time.
And you should. Ruby is great. I'm Rob. I am the GM for this wonderful cast of Jedi. I also play in another game on the Games Tavern Network. You can find me on social media on Twitter at IsRafeSafe. I do not do Instagram. I'm sorry. And I also don't do TikTok. So if you want to hit me up on Twitter. Now, some of you may be aware, there's been some turmoil in the tabletop gaming space, as if millions of gamers cried out at once. The Games Tavern is working on our path forward with our D&D streams. So I am on the cast of one of them. We're having active discussions. It just means that I don't have any information on those streams right now. Everybody is hoping to get back to streaming soon. Paul, do you want to talk to us about YouTube, please?
Absolutely. So don't forget to subscribe to the Games Tavern YouTube channel right now. Subscribing is free. You don't have to. You don't miss any of the action and access to all the shows and content. Your likes and positive comments on the videos gives us a boost and helps future Tavern regulars find out about the shows.
Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, it sounds like Nil has a giant mega corporation to hunt down, and Dar has an individual security officer to look into.
And I have a complaint to file about Bay.
And Malin has to file a formal work complaint to the Jedi
HR.
Council. All right. Thank you so much. Next week, more adventures of our would-be Jedi Knights.
Hell yeah.